Now, can we all give a big applause to Ndudi Chuku, who is going to sit here with me in a moment. She's doing amazing work in the community. Ndudi, please join me for us to have a wonderful conversation here. Really and truly, as an African man living here in the Pacific Northwest, and not having my mother around, having Ndudi has been a blessing to me personally. And having a leader like you, Ndudi, is something that many people here in our community don't have. So really, I want you to share with us just a little bit about Mission Africa. You know, you've been committed to this work. Mission Africa is an incredible organization led by Ndudi, based in Federal Way. They have an office in Federal Way, and also in Nigeria. Their primary focus is education, poverty alleviation, and what else? Healthcare. Let's give it up for Ndudi again.
Thank you very much, Simon. I'm very excited to be here. Hi, everyone. Simon said 15 minutes, but I think it would take me about 3 hours to cover all I have to say. So just bear with me. Well, my name is Ndudi Chuku. Mission Africa is an organization my husband and I started, in 2003. We started it as the missions department of a church we pastored, and then we had to move it, out of the church and made it a 501c3 so that people who are not interested in funding religion or, faith-based organization can also be part of what, we intended to do. So we've been, like Simon said, we have 3 focus areas, and we have been very fortunate, to be growing ever since we started. So since the pandemic just took us to a different level, and the reason is because we have always focused on what we do internationally. We have students on scholarship. We give them 6-year scholarship. We go from village to village, the remote villages, to offer free medical, services. We have farms in Nigeria. We also partner with organizations, NGOs, in 11 other African countries. We partner with an organization in Mexico and the Honduras. So we were doing all this, but we were not really paying attention to, our community, the African community here in the United States. We had 2 big programs that we do here in the United States. One of them is called Smiles at Christmas, and that one has grown. Sometimes we have up to 1,500 to 2,000 people attend. That is an event where we give holiday gifts like toys and clothing and warm coats to parents to give to their children, because we want parents to be able to give to their children at Christmas with dignity. We don't want kids to receive stuff and they say, oh, we got it from that organization. We want it to go from their parents to them. So we kind of distract the kids. We have party jumpers, face painting, all kinds of fun stuff, cotton candy, so that their parents can do secret shopping and put it in the trunk and go home and wrap it. So we've done that since 2003. We also do our back to school program, where we give out hundreds and hundreds of backpacks filled with supplies so that kids will be prepared for the next academic year. But when the pandemic started, we were all packed to go back to Nigeria. We go every year. Sometimes we go twice a year, but we couldn't go. So we're like, okay, what are we supposed to do? And we started looking inwards. We realized that there are a lot of people from our communities who need help. And one of the biggest projects that we have done so many, is courtesy of Health Commons. They were the ones who saw us, they were the ones who discovered us, and they found us worthy to be funded. So that project is called African Health Advocacy Project. And what we did was work with African-led organizations. I mean, it was fantastic, because we actually worked with, community leaders like Simon and other African, organization-led leaders And we all came together and put our heads together to see how we can find our community members, to know how they were doing. We did a very robust survey on our community members. We talked to them about how they were faring. We know that COVID was very devastating. A lot of people lost loved ones and people went through COVID. But the fact that people were looking out for each other in our African community was just a highlight for all of us. It is, I always use the quote that you cannot be more Catholic than the Pope. So you cannot be more passionate about Nigerians than myself. You might love Nigerians or, more passionate about Kenyans than Simon. So we had all these community leaders from Tanzania looking out for Tanzanian, members of the Tanzanian community, people from Kenya, people from Uganda, people from Ghana. It was just beautiful. We interviewed people, and we found out a whole lot of things. We found out that parents were struggling. Some of us went to school, didn't go to any kind of school in the United States. I did all my schooling in Africa. So coming to the United States, I don't understand my son's. I have a 14-year-old. I still do not understand his homework. Anytime he asks me a question, I send him to his dad. Thank God my husband, knows how to figure it out. Give it up for him here. He knows how to do it. But we had kids who were stuck with African parents who didn't know what to do with their kids, during the pandemic because of the education, because they were being schooled at home. So we had to quickly start a tutoring and mentoring program. We worked with the UW. We worked with another organization called First 5 and Beyond. And we started a tutoring program where we had volunteers from the UW working with these African parents to help their kids with their homework while they are stuck at home. At some point we had young mothers looking for diapers, and we had to start a diaper drive, but generally what Health Commons did for us was give us the funding to really, really look for our community members and work together. I think for the first time, most of these community leaders that we worked with, they had never received any kind of incentive or stipend to do anything. So it was a big deal for them, to be compensated for working hard to find out how their people are doing. We also worked with about 92 youth change agents. One of the things that we don't do, if you're African, shout out, let me see your hand. One of the things we don't do in the African community, we don't do mental health. We don't talk about stuff. We're strong people. You have a problem, you keep your problem to yourself. But Health Commons, they gave us the opportunity for our children to use creative ways to, talk about how they were feeling. So we were able to work with these kids. We made them just express themselves through creative ways. So some of them did raps. Some of them did songs. I remember Simon's daughter did some artwork just to say how she felt, because these kids were stuck at home. They didn't have friends to play with. They couldn't go outside. They didn't have friends visiting. But we gave them opportunity to express themselves. And it was courtesy of Health Commons and the Department of Health. So we are very, very grateful that we had that opportunity. And kids, when you tell them you're going to pay them money to do something, they went above and beyond. They came up with all kinds of ideas, but the point is they were able to express how they were feeling, because we don't do counseling, it's not part of our culture. Right. So now we're even doing the 2.0 of that African Health Advocacy Project, and we're working with more kids, we're working with more community members. We are having professionals, mental health professionals from the African community come to talk to our people. So it's taking us, deeper into digging inside ourselves to kind of express ourselves, So I just I just feel very privileged. I'm very honored that Health Commons, found us worthy to fund us. And one thing I tell people, I had opportunity to talk with another organization the other day, and I told them that what they should do is not what they should. I mean, they will do what they need to do was to find organizations like Health Commons. Because if you're a nonprofit here, you know that there's always that power dynamics between the funder and the funded. You have to behave yourself, you have to act in a certain way because you're looking for funding. But with Health Commons, what it did was they were like our friends. We would tell them how they feel. They would tell Department of Health. So you don't feel like threatened. You don't feel like you cannot express yourself, regarding what you're looking for. So Health Commons was kind of a buffer, and a go-between to make it easy for us to say what we wanted and how we wanted our programs to go. So I don't know, I keep going and keep talking. I'm not sure what else to say.
I just wanted you to run with it, and you did a good job. Let's give it up for Ndudi, Chuku. Yeah. So Ndudi, if somebody is here and they want to support the work you do, what's your web address? What's your URL for Mission Africa? How can people support?
Okay, our website is missionafrica.us. www.missionafrica.us. Mission Africa is a volunteer-based organization, so come volunteer with us. You can volunteer here in any of our programs, or you can go with us to Africa. It's a lot of fun there, and we really treat people well. We have fun when you go with us.
Excellent. Let's give it up for Ndudi. Thank you, Ndudi. I really appreciate you.